Getting back on track can be the most difficult thing for us humans, or at least for me, I've noticed. Anytime I said I'll do something and I lose the streak of doing something, for example, I said I'm going to work out every single day, and then one day I just find myself not working out, and then I start feeling down. I start feeling disappointed in myself. And that turns into 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, sometimes even a week before I start again. And it never becomes consistent because I consider myself a failure, or I'm just too disappointed in myself that I didn't keep this perfect streak, or I wasn't completely perfect at doing what I said I'll do. It makes me not a man of my word, which makes me not reliable, and so many other things. You can put it anyway. But I'm sure you've said you do something, said you say something to someone, said you accomplish something, and in the middle of that journey to do that thing, you fail. Even if it's for one day, it's for a week, or for a month, or you just fail. And you find it really hard to continue, or even when you continue, you don't have the same motivation or drive you started with. Let's discuss about this topic of falling off the track and how to get back on it and how to keep on going even after you failed, after you've disappointed yourself, after things went wrong, basically. It can be things out of your control. It can be you fell sick, like I did. Last week I fell sick. That's why I wasn't able to release this episode on Tuesday. I was sick for a couple of days and I had to recover. And then after that, the iPad screen broke. So I had a hell week, if you call it. And now, normal me, the past me, I will have started ruminating and feeling disappointed and feeling despair because I didn't release a podcast episode on Tuesday. Even if it was not in my control, that will even make me more angry and more salty because I'm going to start saying, why me? Why me? Why did I have to fall sick when I have all of these goals and tasks that I want to accomplish? It's very funny because now I've developed this attitude where from the moment I notice I failed the streak or I stopped the streak, or I remember I'm not doing what I said I'll do, from that moment that I actually remember, I start doing it again. I don't give myself time to wallow in despair or wallow in judgments, judging myself or thinking about it too much because that's really what kills you. That's really what kills me. I notice when I start analyzing and looking at why or when or where it failed, I just keep on going. I just close my eyes and keep on going. If I said I'll do something tomorrow and tomorrow comes and I didn't do it, if I remember that I said I'll do it the day after tomorrow, then I start the day after tomorrow. I don't really start judging myself and asking myself questions why I didn't do it that tomorrow. You feel me? But yeah, for you also, when you notice that, the moment you notice that, yo, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, I didn't say what I was supposed to say, the moment you notice, that means your subconscious mind has brought it to your conscious mind. Yo, remember this? So it's not for you to feel like a failure, like you failed. It's just like, yo, you still have time to do this. There's still an opportunity because nothing is ever lost if you think about it, or you can never ever lose if you don't actually completely stop. And the problem is, most of us, including me, once we fail that one time and we dwell on it, it turns into a huge failure. You feel me? Like, I have every excuse now not to skip this week's episode on the podcast. And even if I won't feel good, even if I'll feel shitty, is a very good excuse. iPad broke, or I fell sick, skip 1 week. But at the same time, if I allow this to happen, I said this last episode, that means any single thing that happens out of my control will actually be in control of my life, and I don't want that. As long as I can still talk, as long as I can still say hello and hi to someone, that means I can record an episode. So even if I can do video because of all the technical aspects of that, I'm still giving the listeners of the podcast a podcast this week, no matter what. And I still have to drop one on Tuesday next week, no matter what. Because I told you, if you want to turn your passions into a career, you need to make yourself accountable. And some people lose it because there's so much passion they put into it that once it doesn't go perfect, once it doesn't go fully the way they planned it, they lose motivation, they lose their fire, they lose their energy towards that thing, and it just wraps up like it's a wrap. That's it from there. Even if they do it again, they're gonna give 20%. You feel me? They won't give it their all like they were given previously. And that's another thing you should watch out for. Anything you're doing that you want to make it something you do on a regular basis, you want to make it into a career, into something big, into something serious, you have to just do it without motivation. Ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Is it because you feel motivated? You feel inspired? You heard a motivational video on YouTube, or you saw someone really successful, or you encounter something that just sparked that fire in you, which happens to most of us most of the time. We just see something in the outside world that sparks a fire in us that makes us want to do something really big or cool or stuff like that. If that's what you need to do something or do what you're doing, one day it's gonna die. That fire, that flame that lit up is gonna die. It's gonna end up being extinguished. So you have to put out that fire from the beginning, sadly, and make systems for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish instead of running off motivation, because it's just like fuel. It's gonna end one day, and you might not find a gas station to refill. You feel me? It's good to have. If you have it, that means you can walk times two. You can walk faster. You can walk stronger. You can walk with more desire. It's cool to have it, but when you don't have it, are you still doing it? Are you still pushing? Are you still optimizing? Are you still getting better? Are you still doing what you said you do? When you lose that fire, when you lose that fuel, ask yourself that question. That's what I ask myself every single time I start something new or tell myself I'll do something. Are you doing this out of motivation or inspiration? If yes, then you need to find another reason that is bigger than motivation, and then put down. Then after you found another reason beyond motivation and inspiration, look. So the moment you can find something bigger than motivation, something deeper than motivation and inspiration to do something, to do what you want to do, that's the moment you start hitting your strides. That's the moment you start enjoying the process, start enjoying the journey rather than the destination, because motivation and inspiration, all you're thinking about is the end goal, the result, the reward. You see a Rolls Royce drive beside you. Now your head is just clicking on, yo, I want that Rolls Royce. How can I get that Rolls Royce? You just start working and doing things because you have put that Rolls Royce as the reward. That's what you want to get. So on week 6, when you realize that the Rolls Royce is so far away from you, you're gonna lose motivation and just stop going. You feel me? But if you already have your system, you already have that thing that is deeper than motivation, you seeing a Rolls Royce, and you can relate to this to anything. It might not be a Rolls Royce for you. It might be a wife, it might be kids, it might be a job, it might be a career path, it might be a place you want to live in, a city you want to live in, a country you want to live in, stuff like that. You feel me? I'm just gonna use terms that everyone can relate to, I feel. So yeah, if you have something deeper than motivation and inspiration, when you say a Rolls Royce, you'll be like, oh, cool. If I do my things right, if I'm doing it, this will just be one of the byproducts, because the person that has a Rolls Royce, the person that has a penthouse, that wasn't the goal. They did something else, and that was just the byproducts of whatever they were doing. If you think about it, you feel me? So find something deeper, something that can move you and drive you deeper than motivation or inspiration. Motivation and inspiration is just like putting jet fuel in your car. You feel me? It just helps sometimes, but it is gonna run out. So my solution I found for this, solution you can use for this, is instead of setting goals, instead of setting vision boards and all this stuff, that's cool. But once you know your goal, once you know your vision board, put it aside and now start building systems on how you can get there. Systems as per, oh, the big goal is to be a football player, to be a professional football player, to win the Ballon d'Or. But the systems you need to put in place is wake up every morning by 7 a.m., go for a jog. One. Two, have breakfast by 9. take a nap, gym by 6, team training, put this in your calendar. You have things you're doing every single day. And no matter what, if you do these things every single day, one day, for sure, you will get to that big goal of being a professional football player. And like I said, you can relate this to anything you want to relate it to. But if you're just waking up every day and you say, I want to be a professional football player, and you're just like living your day like that, you're just going to be living in a dream forever and ever, because you won't even understand the difficulties and how hard it is to be an actual professional football player and relate it to anything you want to be or the stuff you're chasing. Because the moment you start doing the things you're supposed to do to get there, to be that person, you realize that, yo, I need something way bigger than motivation to keep me from doing this. Because there's so many, why am I still doing this? Why am I even trying? There's so many obstacles from the moment you decide to do something or decide to be someone. It's just only obstacles. It's only obstacles from there. And depending on how you tackle them, the obstacles can turn into your biggest blessings, can turn into your biggest steps, your biggest staircases, your biggest elevators if you use it smartly. So the best way that I found personally to get over this motivational bust, or of that we lose every time, is just having systems. Like, I know on a specific day I'm going to record, on a specific day I'm going to edit, on a specific time I'm going to post, on a specific location I'm going to do this. Like, I have my systems for doing the things I plan to do, for being the person I want to be. I have my systems down in place. And that's what you should start to do also. Have your systems down and stick to it. Try your best to stick to it. And don't set, like I said last episode, don't put streaks on your systems when you've set it. Don't say day one, day two, day three. It's just today. Obviously, in the calendar, you can have it. You can have a whole month planned out already. But when you're facing it, when you're looking at it, just say today, today, tomorrow. Don't go bigger than 3 days. You can think bigger than 3 days. Don't get me wrong, but the moment you start doing day 5, day 6, when you get to day 80, and you don't do day 81, and you don't do day 81, you're gonna feel like you failed. But if you're just doing today, tomorrow, even if you miss today for some reason, you'll be like, okay, cool, we continue tomorrow, because I didn't stop or destroy any huge streak I was keeping. I just missed today. Like, it's cool, we continue tomorrow. And that's what helped me get back on track, especially with this podcast, because I didn't, obviously, this is episode 9 and it's the episode 1, 2, 3. But I've been looking at every episode, every recording as the next one. I'm not building some huge streak in my head I want to reach. But I do have my goals. I do have milestones and targets that I want to reach. But if I just focus on the next, I'm going to get there for sure. You feel me? There's no need to think about it. I'm going to get there for sure. Apply this to your life. See if it helps. Let me know if it helps you in any way. And when you've set your targets in life on who you want to be or where you want to go or what you want to accomplish, you need to make sure you stay true to you. You need to make sure you are you all the way. I cannot emphasize this enough. For example, if, how do I say it? I'm an easygoing guy. I love people. I don't like crowds, but I love people. I have love for people. You feel me? I would say I'm a nice guy. I'm not, I don't know. I'm just going to say I'm a nice guy. Let's say I'm a nice guy. And you know what they say about nice guys? Nice guys always finish last. BS. But yeah, and this is how I go. I'm going to tell a story of how I got signed to my mother agency in London. So one day I went to the mall. I forgot what I was doing in the mall. Let me try to remember. I think I was just going for a normal mall run, nothing really special. And then I think I was supposed to go home. And in the Mall of Emirates, there's 2 exits. You can either take a taxi through Kempinski or Sheraton. And I don't know why I never use Sheraton. I usually use Kempinski or the Carrefour taxi pickup, or that's it. And I just went to Sheraton that day. And as I was going, as I was leaving Sheraton, I saw this model that I've seen on Instagram, this fashion model. Her name is Lana. And I just saw her having breakfast with her friend or something like that. And if I wasn't being myself, if I wasn't me, I'll have probably acted cool and be like, who's that? Who does she think she is? And I'll just walk out and go home or just act cool. You feel me? That kind of stuff. But as the guy I am, I see you even if you don't know me. I'll just be like, hey yo, what's up? I know you're on Instagram. How you doing? Hi and bye. Like even if that's the only line of conversation we had, cool. I just express myself easy going like that. You feel me? You understand? And I just went up to Lana when she was eating. I said hi, I greeted her, all of that. We didn't chat more than 2 minutes. She just asked me who I am, what I'm doing. I just told her I'm a fashion model. Joked about like, yo, I want to be like you someday, blah blah blah. And then she gave me my current manager's number. She gave me Carl's number. This is how I got in contact with my mother agency in London, just by saying hi to someone I do not know in the mall, but because I've seen them on Instagram, I just felt that it would be cool to let them know that you have people who admire your work in person. And that led me to getting signed to my mother agency in London. So if I wasn't myself, if I wasn't just really going with the flow of things and just actually expressing the way I feel and doing the things I felt like doing, and I tried to act cool and all quirky and stuff like that, I probably would never even have met my mother agency. I would never have met Carl. You feel me? She would never have given me Carl's number. I would never have been signed to Carl and Laura's agency. And my modeling year is amazing. My best modeling year ever which was this year. It would never have happened. You feel me? So, in the midst of all this setting goals and making systems to don't forget who you are, always stay true to you. And I'm not saying you must be that nice guy who talks to people who they don't know, but ask yourself, who am I? Some people, they don't talk to people they don't know, even if they've seen them on social media. Some people do. So do not be different people on different days. Don't have a wide difference in personalities every single day. You feel me? Like today you're talking to strangers, tomorrow you're not talking to strangers because someone told you not to talk to strangers, and then next tomorrow someone says it's good, and then you do it again. Like just make sure you have a persona. I won't say a brand, but just your personality should really be solid. It should be something you're sure of, something you can depend on, because that's what life is going to bless you based on and form your obstacles based on. It's going to build obstacles that it knows your personality, the way you are now, your true self. Know who you're acting to be, know who you're trying to act cool to be or faking to be. Your true self is the only person that can pass those obstacles with ease. Even if it's not with so much ease, your true character will gain so much more from those obstacles than your fake self. You feel me? Like if when I was in a pinch, we went to play basketball in Meadows and we parked wrongly. We told security that our friend lived there, but our friends didn't live there. We just wanted to play basketball and we didn't know there was a parking for people who wanted to play basketball. And we parked in front of someone's house. And after some time, the security, I think they found out that we lied and they got pissed. So they wanted to exert their dominance. I don't know why our security is like doing this. But yeah, they called the police and then the police came to the car and everyone was panicking. Everyone was jittering. Oh my God, police, we messed up. We're done. And I'm not saying this to like brag or anything, even if I was pissing my pants on the inside, but I just calmly walked up to the officers. We just had a chit chat, a conversation about why we parked here, what we came here to do. They saw we were in basketball clothes. They saw that I was sweating. We just finished. So there's no ulterior motive to us parking there. So there was no problem. We just had to know the right things to do. You feel me? And if I wasn't myself, which is calm under pressure like that, and I was trying to act smart and lie to the police officer or bend the law or shout at the security guy to show power and all that stuff, which isn't really me. Some people are like that. I need to actually work out for them. Some people, I don't know, do what I just said, shout at the security officer or lie their way out. I need to work out for them because that's who they truly are. If that's truly you, just keep on doing you. But for me, it's just actually being real and saying the truth and being calm. You feel me? And that's what worked for me. That's what got us out of that pinch with no issues, no ID, nothing like that. You feel me? And this has happened to me multiple times when I've met or I've been in situations like that. I achieve the best results when I'm calm, collected, and I'm just saying the truth, even if I messed up. And it works out for me like that every time. So I know this is me and it works for me. For some other people, lying might be your thing or playing smart or exaggerating or stuff like that. But always keep on being you. Don't do this today and then do another thing tomorrow. Stay true to who you really are. And it's to help you down the line with getting to where you want to go, being who you want to be, and everything. You feel me? Do not change your patterns too often, like a chameleon. You're not one. And even a chameleon doesn't really change. A chameleon's character is to change. So it's not changing. You feel me? If you get what I'm saying. And the only thing that is permanent, the only thing that is constant is change. I accept that. Even me as a person, I'm always changing and evolving. I won't say yet. I won't call it changing. I'll call it evolving because evolving sounds like a good thing and change or switched up sounds like a bad thing because of the way society has used those words. Let's not use change. Let's use evolve. We are always going to evolve. You are always going to evolve. What you said yesterday, you might not say it tomorrow. You might learn a better way to say it, a better way to approach it, and things like that. Of course, accept those kind of that kind of evolution in your character, in your persona. Accept it. Don't try to be the same person you were for 10 years. Like hardly like changing nothing, fixing nothing. There should be some degree of flexibility to your to the way you allow things to change you. And that's another thing I want to talk about. There's always balance. When someone says yes or no, you can't be someone who just says straight out yes or straight out no. There should be some kind of middle line you're willing to come to, which doesn't shift your standards or integrity in any way, but still doesn't make you ignorant, if you get what I'm saying. So you need to find this balance in life. Like in almost everything, there's balance. There's no extreme yes or extreme no. There's always a yes, no, maybe. Not maybe, but there's a yes and there's a no, not hell yeah or hell no. Like people, if you live like that, you're going to be living an ignorant life and you might miss out on some shortcut. I won't call it shortcut, but some things that can accelerate your growth, your journey, and other things like that. And another thing I want to add is, do you think successful people become smart or wise or think better when they're successful? No. They were already thinking that way. They were already thinking wise and making smart moves and smart decisions before they had anything, before they were successful. That's what got them there in the first place. It's not like they suddenly became successful and then acquired wisdom. They had wisdom already. And that's why when you have wisdom before or when you're moving smart, before you have anything to show for it, you look stupid. You look dumb in other people's eye. Even in your eye sometimes. You're like, what am I even doing? Or what am I saying? Or how am I thinking? Well, stick to it. Stick to it. Do not be shy of it. That's one thing I stay becoming scared of. That I'm too stupid. But I just learned to embrace it and love it and accept it. And when I eventually reach where I want to go, people or even myself, I'm going to think, yeah, that's a very smart way of thinking. Actually, that's a smart thing you did. Even if in present right now, it doesn't look really smart. It doesn't look really cool. It doesn't look really acceptable as per normal. But in the long run, when you get to the end goal, it's going to be normalized. This is how geniuses are. So do not be scared of your genius and trust your gut. Like it is your gut for a reason. Don't trust someone else's word more than your own gut feeling. Because the thing is that people say things they think they want other people to hear. You feel me? Someone might be giving you advice and they don't know jack shit about it. but they just feel they should be saying it. Or some people don't even like something, or they don't really understand some things, but because they think the person at the receiving end should hear it in this way, they say it. And that's really funny because even personally, I fall victim to this sometimes. Sometimes I'm talking about some things to someone and I don't really fully understand the concept, but I just want to be the winner in the in the conversation. That the way I talk, you're gonna think I know my shit. This is why you need to be careful about digesting fully what other people say and other people's opinions, because I'm telling you, most of the time, people say things out of ego. And saying things and doing things out of ego isn't a good thing at all, because it's very misleading if you don't know how to control it. So, yeah, be careful and trust your gut, because nowadays, if I think something, like, how do I explain it? The first thought that comes to my mind now, I go with it. I believe it. Like the first solution that comes to my mind when I have a problem, I just go with it and believe in it 100%, because I've already told my mind, my subconscious mind, my everything, my body, yo, this is where I want to go. So any decision we're making has to lead us to the direction. All roads leading to the dynasty. So now I have complete trust of my mind, of my actions, of my decisions. Because I know no matter what I'm doing, no matter what's happening in my life, no matter what decision I take, it's gonna lead me to the final goal. So like now I'm not thinking too much if it's the perfect one, if it's the correct one, if it's the wrong one. Because sometimes there's a way that seems right, but the end is destruction. The end is damage. The end is disaster. But it seems right when you're making the decision. And there's some decisions you make that feel stupid when you make the decision, but at the end, it's the best decision you could have made. So I just learned from now on to trust my God, trust my mind, trust whatever decision it comes up with, because your mind talks. It doesn't talk like as per talk, but it communicates with you, and some people don't listen. They use other forms, other mediums to make their decisions, to think, to move. But nowadays, recently, I've been moving with what I really feel and think from my mind, not from an exterior platform or medium. And you should really try to do this also, because you just feel free. Even if it doesn't work out at first, you just feel relaxed, free, and confident that you are the one that solely made this decision, and you'll be happy to stand by with it, than if you're to listen to someone or something else and everything messes up. You're going to feel shitty. You're going to feel out of control. You're going to feel stupid almost for trusting something else other than you. So trust yourself so much that you almost seem stupid. That's the way to say it. Because when you're doing it, when you're actually trusting yourself and thinking by yourself and making actions for yourself by yourself, you're going to feel weird. It's a break in the way we're taught to do things, because we're always told what to do, how to think, what to wear, where to go, what to eat. We're always told what to do basically since we were babies. So the moment you start doing what you really want to do, start thinking independently, literally independently, it's might feel scary. It felt scary for me when I started, and awkward and anxious, but you start enjoying it. It's like a high. It's like a really great feeling of cloud nine. You feel me? So that's my challenge to you. Actually, try this. Like just every single thing you do, even if it's the minor details, try to make sure it's you making a decision or you taking that action. You, not something else, not someone else telling you to do it. And back to what we started with, getting back on track. Did you know that 92% of people who set New Year resolutions never ever finish them or accomplish it? Literally. And they just repeat the whole process over and again, year after year, and nothing changes. And I've told you guys the solution of this already. The moment you need something as epic and big and grand as a new year to take a decision, to make a move, to start doing something. What happens when New Year goes? You feel me? Like second week of Jan, you just realize that yo, this is the same day as it was 5 months ago, 5 hours ago, 5 weeks ago. Like Same feeling, same day when it comes down to it. You feel me? So if you need something as grand as a new year to set you on your path, you can use it. Like I said, you can use it as fuel. It can be what kickstarts you. It can be what pushes you to start. But immediately try to replace that fuel with something, with a real reason, with a genuine reason for you to keep going. Because trust me, by the second week of January or the first week of February or March, if you survive up to then, you just find out that like you're not even going after your new resolutions anymore. You just gave up and you just accepted that no, I'm not doing this anymore. Maybe out of laziness, that's a different topic for another day. Because that's a real killer, yo. That's a real dream killer. That's a real people killer, personality killer, everything killer. Laziness. Oh my god. Yeah, and I blame people. I blame myself for being lazy. I'm not gonna lie. Even if everything around us is to make us lazy, to make everything easy. Like you can literally run your whole life nowadays from the bed. You can order food, you can have meetings at work, you can work, you can learn, you can eat, you can watch movies, you can do everything. You can fuel your car from your bed. You can order anything you think of and get any service you think of. You get someone to come clean your house and you get that person from your bed. Like you can do everything now so easily and readily for you that not being lazy nowadays is like being backwards. You feel me? It is weird not to be lazy nowadays. But like I said, this is a topic for another day. Why not? Why not today? Because this is part of what people fall off. This is what makes people lose track of their goals and their ambitions. Laziness is a really huge factor, and you need to almost crack it. It's like a thick glass. You need to crack it. And once you crack it, it doesn't get easy, Maji. It doesn't get easy, yo. It gets harder and harder every time. That's the thing about hard work. The rewards of hard work is what you want, but people just don't like that in between, which is the hard work. This is you. This is your dreams. What's in between is hard work. People don't like hard work. People always want the easiest, fastest way to get to point B. If point A is you, people are always looking for the quickest, easiest way. But the people that go for the hardest, toughest, longest way are the ones that always get the reward. Even if you get the reward the easy, fast way, it doesn't last. Easy come, easy go. I don't know. How do I break laziness? I still consider myself a lazy person, but that's because I put such a high expectation on myself, which isn't good because I'm not even sleeping well. That's probably why I feel sick. But how do you break this thick glass of laziness that is almost on all of us and our futures already? Because now everything is even becoming easier and faster and just adding to the list of things to make us lazy. There's AI now doing so much things that you use your brain for. Most people can't even remember their phone numbers. They have to ask Siri. They have to write down everything on a note now. No one uses their brain to remember stuff like before. Like in high school, I still remember all my parents' numbers, my number, their bank account numbers, my bank account numbers, all these important numbers in your life. Like it was all up in my head. But nowadays, it's all up in Apple Notes or Apple Reminders, or I just trust it to iCloud. Some people don't even bother remembering their passwords anymore. It's just iCloud. We don't even need password nowadays anymore. It's just fingerprint or face ID. So see, everything nowadays is built to make us lazy and make us comfortable. Literally, you can make a $2 million purchase now with just a tap of a button. You feel me? There's no friction for you to think about it. Even in buying things, there's no friction for you to consider it. Like you see something, you just we know how Apple Pay is. That's it. Back then, imagine like before you spend anything, you see the money, you feel it leaving, even if it's not cash. It takes a PIN code, it takes an OTP, obviously up to today there's OTP. But you get what I'm saying? There was a higher friction for doing most things back then, back in the days, and I'm not old. So you can imagine this next generation, or even my generation, or our generation, It's becoming too much. And I feel we need to put, doesn't it just baffle you how lazy we all are nowadays? People are even lazy to grow. People are lazy to be better. Like, people would rather buy 10,000 fake followers than grind hard, make good content, engage, do all the things they're supposed to do, which is a lot, honestly, nowadays. But still, it's way worth it. That's why I feel like a YouTube star is way, way more valuable than an Instagram star nowadays, just because of how saturated Instagram stars are. Whenever an Instagram star, you know what I'm talking about. Instagram influencers. Because we don't even know. It's possible they have K, it's possible they have 10K, but then they buy 90K. Makes it look like they have 100K. You feel me? Like, what is that? And then on YouTube, you have to work hard. There is no back door. There's no two ways about it. You need to be good at what you're doing, or at least very good at something you're doing on YouTube to make it. Respect to the YouTube stars out there, because it's hard work. But let's look at on other social medias. Look how easy it is to blow up on TikTok. Now everyone is chasing it. And the fact that they made it so easy to blow up on TikTok, I feel is bad. The attention span, it shouldn't be that easy to become so, I don't use the word powerful, but it shouldn't be that easy to gain such a vast influence in the whole world. Like back then, people that had influence like that they were movie stars, they were public figures. Like even Oprah didn't blow up as fast as TikTok stars. And I feel this laziness is part of the things we don't even notice. But when I think about it, we are just becoming more lazy and more lazy over time. And it gets to a point where it's going to be bad, obviously. There's pros and cons for everything. All this quick glory, quick fame, there's cons of it. So yeah, for me, I started challenging myself to take the hard road. And taking the hard road nowadays can just make you look dumb, honestly, because you see everyone moving at such a high, fast pace so quickly, and you're just going step by step on your own way. No one understands where you're going. You don't understand where you're going, but you just keep on going because it's harder, it takes time to build and all of that. But once it's built, your foundation is as solid as a rock. That's the benefits of hard work. Like, no matter how you want to shake it, your reward is going to be thick. It's going to be plenty. It's going to be worth it. So shout out to all the hard workers out there, all the people who decided to take the hard part, even if nowadays everything seems so easy and fast. The people out there that still chose to grind, chose to do the unimaginable, chose to do what doesn't make sense nowadays anymore. Like even when it comes to relationships, with people just want to meet and date immediately, or meet and you know what? Immediately. There's no stage anymore. There's no almost no courtship anymore, even in some marriages nowadays. I know, or should I say I knew one of my friends. He never met this girl ever before. They were just talking and immediately they got married. Is that how we're rolling now? And I can't say names obviously, but funny thing about this story is they got married, he proposed, she said yes, went for the wedding, got divorced the same day of the wedding. Funniest story you ever hear. I swear, but I can't be talking about someone else's personal story, especially when I know them in details. But that's the whole gist. Met, never met in person, got married, went to the marriage ceremony, got divorced the wedding day. Never saw each other again. That's it. That's what happens when you get something so easy and fast. You take your time, you know this person, you do what they call courtship. I don't know if that's what you call it, but courtship, that's when you know the ins and outs of this person, their family, their background. Even if it doesn't matter, the knowledge of it is good. And just living with this person for a little while and see if just testing the waters. And it mustn't be a long thing, but you have to see all of these things. Some people see it in few months, some people see it in few weeks, but not few weeks, come on. Few months, some people takes years, some people takes too long. And because of so many things nowadays, trust, you don't some people can fake it for years, yo. Like there's so many things and I don't blame some people for their actions honestly nowadays because there's so much things that can be behind the curtain you're not even seeing or you can't see, but it's just going on. But I'm derailing from topic again, don't mind me. Laziness. I wish there was a one word I could give you or one solution that I came up with for laziness that I could just tell you now and it will just cure all your subconscious laziness and conscious laziness. But for me, it's just the awareness of laziness that helps me. Like some things I'm doing or some things I want to do, I know I'm being lazy. So the knowledge of being lazy is okay, cool. We're not going to do it this way because this is the lazy way. Let's do it the hard way. And the hard way isn't as hard as it sounds. It's just not the lazy way. It's just the good way of doing it. It's just the proper way of doing it. You feel me? So yeah, that'll be my solution for laziness. The awareness of laziness. The awareness that you're being lazy. And if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to be lazy, now that you're lazy, you're gonna do everything not to be lazy. You're going to do everything to do it the right way, do it the correct way, to grind. You have patience because that's another thing that causes laziness. The lack of patience. People don't want to start waiting when they want to do something new or try something new or accomplish something or be a better version of themselves. They don't want to go through that period of time where they have to be patient with things and let things flow naturally and wait for their timing. Because I've said this over and over again on the podcast, and everyone will say this over and over again. As long as you don't give up, yo, it will happen one day. Like no matter what, no matter how you want to do it, even if you're moving stupidly, as long as you don't give up, one day you stupidly make it. But once you stop, then you will never know. You never know if that day was yesterday. Sorry, if that day was tomorrow or a few hours from now was when you're gonna get that alert, that email, that call. Nowadays, people are scared of that virtue they need to have to be successful, which is patience. One of my very good friends, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, can't remember which to be exact. He used to go to he started his job, his work, what he's doing now for a living, basically, and he looked like a joke. He sold nothing, he had zero customers, was spending his own money, going broke, had nothing to his name. And now he's very successful at what he does. He has sold more than $3 million worth of goods that he sells. And it happened, it just started happening, just like that. And then one breakthrough after another. And then one thing that just happens that exponentially grows the business. And then this month again, we were just chatting. People are not shopping, people are not buying, what's wrong? Then boom, these last 3 days, he sold the most he has ever sold in the span of 3 days ever in his life. Just like that. He sold more than $200,000 just in 3 days. And he was complaining since December 1st that why people not shopping for Christmas yet. You feel me? Like as long as you don't stop, as long as you keep on going and you keep your head up, which isn't easy. Haven't you seen so many people out in the streets, out in the mall, out in their workplaces where their heads are just down, like physically? I'm not even talking about mentally now, like physically, their heads are just down. They're just looking down and it's like they give up. There's no spirit anymore. There's people like that, and there's some people that they're going through the most difficult times and they have that smile and glitter on their face and they're looking up. And you won't even know something is wrong with them or they're going through anything if they didn't tell you, if they're even not close to them. Those are the most dangerous people in the world because no matter what you throw at them, they will come out. As long as you keep on smiling, if you're an anime person, smile like Luffy, no matter the problem, you end up coming out. Because smiling through tough times is a sign of strength, no stupidity or weakness. So that's another virtue or another trait you should try to develop. The strength to weather a storm, the strength to stand firm during crisis, during hard times, because that's what really makes you who you are. I've said this again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you can't say enough of it. Because another thing you need when you lose track, when you lose that streak, when you set out to accomplish something and you didn't accomplish it, another virtue you need is the ability to repeat what worked yesterday. Let me use another example. You got $100 from doing this. Tomorrow you got $50. 2 days after you got $20. Which day are you gonna try to replicate? The $100 day, right? So now you need to be aware of how you did that and repeat it. Repetition is key to coming back up from any downfall or any downgrade that you went through. Look at your bright days, your better days, and see what you did that worked and just repeat it because it's a proven formula that works. Repeat it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you want to end 200, you repeat it, but now you add the little things that can make it better. Because the more you repeat things, the more you actually like it's almost automatic. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm sure you can relate to this. But when you keep on doing something over and over again, you find easier and faster ways to do it. Not in a lazy manner, but for example, video editors. If you keep on just when you start editing, zero shortcuts on the keyboard. But the more you edit, the more shortcuts you know on the keyboard for Adobe Premiere, for DaVinci, and all these things that make your workflow faster. You feel me? Like when you repeat something so much, you become the master of it, and then you start to see the loops, the inner loops that you can use to your advantage. And that's how it should be. So learn to repeat what works for you, or repeat something over and again till you become the master of it. So no matter what happens, if you fall off, if you lose track of yourself, if you lose track of your goal, you know what worked and you can just easily go back to it. Some people don't ever go back to what worked for them and they just start trying new things over and over again. They just start trying new things and they just never ever get to 100% of something. Try sticking to something till you fully mastered it. Read to the back cover of the book. Just don't stop halfway and assume you know the whole gist of the book. Read to the back cover. So now you know, guaranteed you have full knowledge of that book. Approach life like that. Approach whatever thing you want to relate this to in your life. Approach it like that. New Year's is coming. I'm sure you're going to have your New Year resolutions. I've told you it's good. Set your goals, set your new resolutions, whatever. But immediately after that January 1st, scratch all of that and get to work. Put your systems down on how to get there and just start doing it. Just start the systematic process of getting there. If you just say your dream is to win Olympic gold medal at the 100-meter sprint and you just keep on saying that, you're never ever gonna win Olympic gold medal. But if you say, okay, every morning I do 600-meter dashes and then take a break, and in the evening I do some conditioning and stuff like that, and this is your system for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, by the time Olympic comes, of course you're gonna win because now your body is fully optimized and ready for this. You understand? I just felt like re-emphasizing on that system approach of life towards your goal, not just setting goals and then just doing whatever. Actually have systems down, write it down or note it in your head at specific steps you're going to take to get to those goals, not just any step you think of or any step you can imagine or just try new things, everything till you get there or trying easy, fast ways to get there. Write down the steps, the ones that you know are guaranteed to work because anything you want to do, any person you want to be, there's already resources out there that tells you how to get there efficiently. And so look it out, do your research, and just start chasing you. We all gonna make it. Don't worry about it. We all gonna make it. Especially the listeners of this wonderful podcast. This is episode 9. This is just audio. I'm not doing video today. I am literally in my room and I'm just talking to the bed. This is hilarious. I like it because this is what I normally do without a microphone. I just have long conversations like this with no one. And my friends have caught me sometimes and thought I was crazy. But yeah, I wish you all never to lose track. No, actually, when you lose track, I pray you have the strength to get back on track with whatever you lost track of or lost track with. Because you shouldn't pray for there not to be obstacles or for you not to fail. You should pray for the strength to stand up when you fail, for the strength to face any obstacle that comes your way. That should be your prayer point or what you hope for. Don't hope that the road will be smooth. Hope you have the right tires to ride the road. I hope this helped you in some way. It helped me because as I'm talking, I'm also learning. And if you have any things to add on, write it in the review on the podcast platform you listen to. I appreciate all the DMs, honestly. And we have full blown conversations, but for the sake of growing the podcasts organically on these platforms, it would be nice if we had the conversations on the podcast platforms as per the review section and stuff like that. So it shows that we have a community. I appreciate the DMs. If you still want to DM, I don't want to like go that route. Please DM me about every episode and we can talk. I love you all. Thanks for listening to the Get Exposed show by Odia. I am almost fully recovered from this illness. It was bad. I wish this illness on nobody, honestly. Felt so heavy, felt so weak, so dehydrated, migraine, fever, loss of appetite. Oh my god, it's literally worse than Corona. Corona had zero symptoms, thank God. But like this, oh my god, it was bad. I don't know if this is the seasonal flu, but this is bad, man. You all stay safe, you honestly. But I'm all good now. I missed quite almost a week. Thank God I didn't miss up to a week. But yeah, we back, people, and bless you all, yeah, man. Oh, by the way, do you feel I should just make this podcast like this, like audio based, and just start like I'm still gonna try YouTube, but I want to do something cool and creative on YouTube that is not a podcast, but still a personality kind of YouTube channel. That's what I'm thinking. Now that I've done this episode, just audio, it's so much relaxing for me setting up the whole video shenanigans. I don't mind doing it, but I feel I can kill two birds with one stone. I can use my YouTube for something else, and this podcast is something else, and Instagram is something else, which all connects to me. It's like this big brand of what I'm doing. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that. And obviously, if you all need any tips or advice with your life doings or whatever, any advice, not even advice, I'm no guru, but you want to talk about something, you want to have a conversation, you want to see my opinion on stuff, let me know. Your boy is also there for you. Or say your battery charger, your storyteller, your vibes bringer. This is the Get Exposed Show, episode 9. If I'm correct, I'm correct. Peace be unto you, and ciao.